GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Gear Network presents the Football Talk Weekly Podcast with John Cimino and Brandon Gorell. And now, here's John.
The Divisional Round. It is upon us. How's it going there, Giggle Pants?
Oh, you hit me with a false start there. Should have thrown a flag on you.
Yeah.
You're like 3, 2, 1, silence.
It's a radio silence. I don't know.
Radio.
How's it going, everybody? My name is John Cimino at the JC Money on the Twitter, and joined over here, as always, my eyesore, Mr. Brandon Gorell. Say hello, Brandon.
Yo.
And as always, thank you very much for using shopgear.com. We ask you to keep using it. As always, it helps us out. Our network, our shows, Valentine's Day. You know it's coming. You know the drill. Shopgear.com. All right, Brandon.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Let's just go right into it, because we have had 3 NFL coaching vacancies filled.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Interim head coach and former Buffalo Bills head coach Doug Marrone.
That big Dougie smile.
Big old Dougie smile is now running the show officially in Jacksonville. Good move or bad move?
It's a good move. He was going to be hired regardless. Gus Bradley was going to have to make some kind of super change in order to keep that job, and he wasn't going to. That's why they hired Marrone. Marrone was going to be next in line. He was always going to be the plan. As soon as Bradley, basically hung himself, it was on to Marrone. And Marrone, I think it's a good hire. He did a good job with the Bills. I think he has a little more. He definitely has more quarterback talent than he had in Buffalo. I mean, he had Kyle Orton his last season.
He did.
So, I think that they'll do well. And then you can name their other move there.
Yep, executive vice president or vice president of football operations,
yes.
Whatever you want to call it. Tom Coughlin.
Thomas Coughlin is back in Jacksonville.
So how does that
Stealing
feel?
him from the Bills.
How does that feel, Bills fans? I have to know, how does this feel? Your former head coach who bolted after one season, took you to your last winning season.
Yep.
In I don't know how many years. And one and done in Buffalo, becomes the quarterback's coach or offensive line coach or whatever he was in Jacksonville. There was oh, well, that's not a better position for him. But wait, 2 years later, here he is now. And the guy that you guys, Tom Coughlin's in Buffalo on a plane?
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking to the Pagulas. He's going to be it. He's it.
He's going to give them them Pagula bucks. Yep.
Or,
salt.
Or as Lee Corso would say,
not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast.
Not so fast. Tom Coughlin, the executive vice president of football operations for those Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. He's old as F.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to stand around in cold-ass weather all year, drive around in Buffalo, New York to do his business.
Nope.
Well, we can go to sunny Jacksonville, man. That's retirement.
Why not?
Especially since he's not taking on a head coaching role. Go with the better weather, man.
You think, well, not only the better weather, but now you think about it and you look at it from the perspective of there is talent on the Jacksonville Jaguars team.
Oh, they have a lot of talent.
Now they have
Alan Hearns, Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm. They have a proven
Yeldon.
coach in Doug Marrone. They have Tom Coughlin, who is arguably their most successful coach in Jaguars franchise history. Super Bowl winning coach 2 times with the New York Giants, playing
the only
in
guy
the
that
toughest
can figure
market.
out Belichick.
And now you've got him as running the show above him. I'm thinking they're going to open up those tarps. And I'm thinking there's going to be a new
sell some seats.
There's going to be some new energy there in Jacksonville.
It's a new era that will get close to sellouts.
Exactly. Speaking of a new era, in Denver, the Broncos hired Dolphins defensive coordinator Vance Joseph.
Yep.
Good move or bad move?
I think it's kind of a neutral move. I want to see how he is as a head coach. First of all, I hate the Dolphins. Sorry, Tom and Mr. Savage, but
and Dawn,
and well, whatever. She's not listening. So, I know that they did some good things here in Miami this year with not a great secondary. So, the fact that their defense kind of held them in a lot of contests. I mean, they got kind of lit up last couple games or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, he's going into a great situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, Denver is not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination.
That was one of the things that when I was presented it, actually, Dan Germain sent me a text and was like,
Daniel.
I don't think it's a good move at all. His defense.
I like how he
terrible.
talks to you now about it because he won't talk to me about it. He's too afraid. I know you fear me, Jermaine.
But he says, what's the benefit to him there? Well, I mean, the benefit's more of the team he's inheriting.
Right.
That's a good spot to be in.
You're a defensive coach, and you're inheriting a defensive coach's dream.
Right. And not only that, but you consider the rumors.
Right.
Tony Romo wants to be traded there.
Right.
If anybody can make that happen, Jerry Jones and John Elway probably can make it happen.
Yeah, they'll work out a deal.
So now you possibly could get Tony Romo for 1 or 2 seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
In a solid offense, in a solid offense with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders and
right.
And then that defense, which is still intact from the Super Bowl era.
Right.
I mean,
Von Miller's not going anywhere.
That's a pretty good spot to be in. But we know who Bills fans what Bills fans want to hear right now. They want to hear our take. Brandon, Panthers defensive coordinator Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
Hired as the head coach of those Buffalo football Bills. Good move or bad move?
I don't know what this move is, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't really know why. I'm glad they didn't go with a retread. Like, they didn't go with another retreaded head coach who's, glory days are beyond his reach, and, he's far removed from anything significant. So, for that part alone, they did a good job there. But Sean McDermott, that's such an uninspiring hire. Like, first of all, his first job was D coordinator after Jones left Philadelphia. Totally stunk. I mean, he just totally was terrible. He got ridden right out of town. Mm-hmm. So then he goes to Carolina. And, Carolina, I think they caught lightning in a bottle last year with that defense and that team. Or the year before when they went to the Super Bowl. Because last year, they sucked. Mm-hmm. Like, they were straight out terrible. And you can't tell me that was all just because Josh Norman was gone. Because Josh Norman, he's a good corner, but he can't cover the corners, also cover the running game, also play linebacker. Mm-hmm. He can't do it all. Mm-hmm. So this notion that, we lost Josh Norman, so that's why we stink. I'm not buying that because honestly, they way underperformed, and it wasn't always just on offense. It was really on defense. Like, that team gave up a lot of points this year.
Yes, they did.
So they went out and hired this guy, and right away, like, the guy's talking about hiring Mike McCoy as his offensive coordinator, who just got canned in San Diego. And one of their biggest problems in San Diego was their offense. Phillip Rivers couldn't stop throwing the ball over the yard and turning the ball over because their defense got better. Uh-huh. They had, guys that were kind of off the scrap heap, like Casey Hayward came out of Green Bay. Now he's an all-pro over there. Joey Bosa emerged. That defense played pretty well. Their offense, not that great, not very inspiring. So that's his pick for it. I told you earlier, I think what happened was, here's the conversation. Hey, Kim, what do you got all those applications over there? I can't decide. Which one of these guys got the least experience as a head coach? Sean McDermott, Tara. All right, that's my guy. Give him a call. Offer him a bunch of money.
You know,
and that's what they ended up with. I honestly believe that they just were like, you know what? We went with a guy who has experience, who's a big mouth. Now I'm going to pick somebody with no experience who's like a mouse. Like, it is like insignificant.
Right. Well, I mean, not for nothing. The Jets kind of did a similar thing with Todd Bowles, only Todd Bowles was...
Yeah, Todd Bowles had a little better pedigree than he did.
He was also interim head coach at Miami at one time, too, so he did have some experience. But when I saw this hire initially, the first thing I thought of was the point that I made last week. Who?
He had that reaction.
Then the second point was, Doug Whaley again. There's no GM whose seat is hotter than Doug Whaley's right now. And to my point of, are they just hiring somebody just to get somebody in there? And then if the Bills do well, hey, cool, they get the statue erected like you mentioned last week. But if they don't do well, I mean, it's not like you're paying tons of money for a name coach.
Yeah.
Is this just the proverbial filler? That's what I thought.
I don't understand how... I think that Buffalo would be an attractive choice for somebody to go to, and yet this is all they can come up with. Like, we better lock up McDermott before somebody else grabs him.
Yeah.
Like,
what happened to Anthony Lynn is what I want to know. Is I thought Anthony Lynn was the guy. You know what I mean? I know he went
coaching the Rams. I think the Chargers.
Well, he interviewed with San Diego and L.A. Maybe both interviews. Maybe both interviews in L.A. I'm not sure, but he interviewed with them. But the past couple of weeks, all it was Anthony Lynn, right? Anthony Lynn, he's the guy. Shady McCoy and him. Hey, what's going on? And now
he was saying that Buffalo is my first choice,
right? And then Sean McDermott,
and they were like, "Thanks, Anthony. We really appreciate your service. Kim and I are really thrilled by all the wonderful things you did for us. We wish you best of luck in the future." It's like, get the F out of here, Pagula. You can't tell your ass from the hole in the ground, buddy. You may be rich from, digging holes in the ground, but you're not a good sports guy. You spend money. I'll give you that. But other than that...
Not in the right spots. Look at the Sabres.
Yeah. The Sabres are just not great.
No, they're
playing a little better lately, but...
Yeah, whatever.
They're still, at least they're not in last place.
I got Johnny Hockey on my team.
Heh.
Right. Anyways, San Francisco was granted permission to interview Josh McDaniels, Patriots OC.
Yep.
What's his name? The defensive coordinator,
Matt
Patricia. Not looking.
Another guy.
He's been rumored for head coaching.
Yeah, he's not looking for it.
But he's not looking for it.
He doesn't look like a head coach.
No, he does not.
He looks like a coordinator.
I mean, he looks like a head coach more than Rob Ryan.
He looks like a guy that's going to polish off a bucket of wings and fart in your face.
I don't want to.
Backwards hat on, his big old beard.
I wouldn't mess with him.
Giant boiler.
I wouldn't mess with him.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the coaching news for now. Let's go to the wild card recap. The Saturday games saw Houston defeating the Oakland Raiders 27-14. And
have you ever seen really any worse quarterback play?
Yes. I'll get to it in a little. Right. I'll get to it in a little bit.
It was really bad.
It was terrible. I mean, Brock Osweiler, 168 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
Yeah.
Oakland's receivers not really helping the rookie quarterback. I mean, if David Carr is in there, this is a completely different story.
Right.
But that shows you, this game right here shows you the importance of David Carr to that team.
Right.
Once he was taken out of the equation, that was it. It was done for you, Oakland. So, Seattle defeats Detroit 26-6. I told you, I thought the experience was gonna upend Detroit, and they sure did.
Yeah, Stafford just didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
His fingers messed up.
Now on the Sunday games, Brandon, Miami 30-12.
Yep.
That's not the story. There's a couple of different stories. First, the play of Le'Veon Bell. He's just absolutely insane. This guy is 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miami looked like, honestly, and again, with all due respect to Randy Savage and Tom Ernest and Don. Miami totally looked out of place and lost all game. They really looked like they didn't belong. Mm-hmm. I think Pittsburgh could have started Landry Jones and would have been fine the way that they played. But the one thing that I wanted to bring to you and present to you, there was a play in which Matt Moore got drilled pretty hard. You know what play I'm talking about, and listening.
All I can think of is the internet memes.
Oh yeah.
Harambe was just a gorilla.
A lot of people are saying that the concussion protocol review went too fast. Moore only ended up missing a play.
I don't know how that was. Like, what was the concussion protocol? Hey, can you see me? All right, you're in. No concussion.
What happened at the Battle of Gettysburg? Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. He's good.
He's good. He's good.
Thank you, Black Adam Schefter. But I mean, if it turns out that there was something more wrong with Matt Moore, I mean, what does this say for Goodell and their focus on player safety and all that crap that they've been pushing? You know?
Did you ever see that episode of Arrested Development where they were talking about Uncle Oscar and his previous job, and his military experience was he was a croc spotter, and they had him out on swift boats.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And he was just going, croc, nope, that's a rock. Croc, no, it's a turtle. Oh. Croc, oh, I'm sorry, that's a candy bar wrapper. Like, I feel like that's what the concussion spotter for the Dolphins was. Like, concussion? What's a concussion? Let me look this up. You go back into the game. I gotta look this thing up real quick. It was so bad. I cannot fathom. The guy was laying there that whole time.
Yeah,
it was like, hey, you're good.
Warriors blew 3-1 lead, man.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
That's all you need.
If you can remember that, you're good to go. No concussion.
And Green Bay defeats the New York Giants 38-13.
Or if you believe NFL Mobile, they beat the Jets.
Yes. How about that?
38-13.
NFL Mobile with completely trolling the New York Giants and threw the New York Jets against the Green Bay Packers. It would have probably been like 68-3.
Yeah.
But
Brett Hundley would have got some time in there.
There you
go. Some playoff experience.
Yeah.
Brett Hundley would have played more playoff snaps than the Bills have in the last 20 years. Hey-o.
Aaron Rodgers, 362 yards, 4 touchdowns, and, by the way, a Hail Mary at the half. His third Hail Mary in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
How good is this guy, man? I know you got your Don in Green Bay. You are very partial to Green Bay, but
yeah,
even if you're not partial to Green Bay, you have to sit here and you have to look at these past 8 games that Aaron Rodgers has, put this team on his shoulders, and just the way he's playing is just, absolutely unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, near flawless. To be able to go out and not throw any picks. To throw as many touchdowns. He's not managing the game. He's winning games.
Yeah, no, he's
going out there and he's killing people. Mm-hmm. Like, I just love the first quarter, and you hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Well, the Giants are just completely dominating this game. It's 3-0. Like, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You know what, Rodgers, take a seat on the bench, man. You're all done.
You know what I just realized?
Yeah, they got to call the game.
They got to call the Packers
There's a petition
Cowboys
to
game.
remove him, but it's not going to work.
No, of course not.
Those guys will be on for everything. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, they were talking about how dominant they were, and even after Green Bay scored that quick touchdown to make it 7-6 and take the lead, we're still hearing about how the Giants dominated the half. And then, there's the touchdown throw at the end of the half with the Hail Mary. And then still, the talk was, well, the score is 14-6, but it could easily be a lot bigger the other way if they caught the ball. And it's like, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, well,
and if Aaron Rodgers play hockey instead of football, then the Packers would be losing as well.
Right.
It's like,
well, if my aunt had junk, she'd be my uncle.
Right. Exactly. It's but those things didn't happen. So I just couldn't get it. And then he goes and he starts catching fire in the second half, and he's just acing this NYPD. And this Giants defense that it was so vaunted, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is actually pretty good. Like, yeah, Joe Buck, maybe if you didn't have your mouthful of Troy Aikman D, maybe you would see some game once in a while and see something outside of your division and the end of your nose. Staring at Troy's happy trail while your game's going on. It was a little dumb, but you know what? The guy's ridiculous.
He is, and
he can have a slow first quarter, slow first half, but you're not going to hold him down the whole game.
Dirty Birds, I love you this season, but
that would be one wild game.
For real, for my money, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP.
Yeah,
he really, really is, and I know it's probably going to go to Matt Ryan.
They faced the Dirty Birds, and they lost by a point. And that was when Rodgers was not playing good.
Mm-hmm. What was wrong with him?
And he was in Atlanta, no less. So I don't know. I can't fathom. This team reminds me of the Super Bowl team, but also the team that end up winning to the championship game and just, special team crapped all over themselves.
I could tell you this right now. Nobody wants to see.
No.
Like I said, I
wants to see 12 gauge.
I said it was the winner of that game was my honest to God, my pick to go all the way. I stand by it. Dallas did not want to see New York. They did not, and they do not want to see.
Yeah, Dallas did not have a favorable matchup coming their way either way.
So that's that.
I think they would have liked the Giants a little more, just because it's really hard to beat the same team 3 times in one season.
Mm-hmm. Dallas.
So they were close games, Dallas and New York. They beat Green Bay up in Green Bay, but Green Bay wasn't right at that time. I'm very interested to see the rematch on Sunday.
All right. Real quick to point out, too, Jordy Nelson was taken out of the game, got hit in the ribs. It was actually two broken ribs.
Cheap shot. Led with the crown of his helmet.
He is not practicing all week. He's set to give practice a shot on Saturday.
Yep.
Very likely, but reported. Now, you said something off air before we got on here, but before that, it was reported at the time that I wrote the show that he was very likely going to be out for the game.
I mean, it would be a miraculous play and a huge display of stones.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I'd like to see him ready for a championship game rather than go out there versus Dallas. I think they got enough weapons to beat Dallas.
I think for all these rookies that have been
Devontae Adams,
not rookies, but all these
Cobb is just
younger
a beast.
Yeah, the younger receivers. If there's any time for them to step up, man up, this is the game.
Yeah.
And they're in Jerry World, so there's no
they had
real
0
elements.
points with Jordy Nelson in the game, and they got 38 without him.
Right.
So they're doing something right. Jared Cook going down the middle is tough to stop too.
All right, very good. So that we're gonna talk that wraps up the wild card.
Division.
That wraps up the wild card. That wraps up the first half.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back and we are gonna talk the divisional rounds and more. This is the Football Talk Weekly Podcast.
Matt Moore?
No, not Matt Moore. He got hurt, man. He got killed.
He got hit.
This is Football Talk Weekly Podcast on the Gear Radio Network. Hey, Dawn, how's it going?
Living the dream. I'm actually just getting ready to do this commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial where I tell our listeners to tune into Gear Network every week to listen to our show, Get Ready America? That one?
Yeah, John, that's the one.
They can also listen to us talk about news, sports, whatever's on our minds, that.
And a little of what's on our listeners' minds, but they're just too nice to say it.
Well, that, Dawn, is a real humdinger.
Humdinger.
Come join us this and every week for Get Ready America exclusively on the Gear Radio Network.
And the Gear Network app.
GERENetwork.com. Also, iTunes, search Gear Network, GERE Network, and subscribe. Hello, Sanjay. What are you doing? I am using my Gear Network app on my mobile device, my friend. Oh, Gear Network app. What is that? Well, do you listen to Get Ready America? No. Do you listen to Better Life Than Death? No. Do you listen to Misguided Musings? I do not. No. Well, my friend, they are very good shows, and they are on this network. You can download the app by visiting gearnetwork.mobapp.at and download it on your Android device and save it to your home screen on your Apple device. What is Android? That is an operating system. What is Apple? That is another operating system. Oh, but I cannot eat that operating apple? No, you cannot eat that operating apple. However, you can go onto the Gear Network app and shop on the Amazon and have Apple delivered to you. Oh, that is wonderful. Gear Network app. Hooray!
Earthlings, we have now taken over your radio.
Still one of the dopest anthems ever. This is the Monstars.
Be real.
Bonus if you kids out there can name what movie this was from. Only 90s kids know. Because you millennials, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know.
You don't know, you better ask somebody.
The movie known as Space Jam, the original. Space Jam with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you know that guy.
Yes.
The goat. The goat.
Welcome back to the Football Talk Weekly podcast. And I'm just going to go through some quick hits real quick. News from the NFL and abroad, Brandon. Ben Roethlisberger
What
walking...
broad?
Hey, come on now.
Hey-o.
All right, Ben Roethlisberger walking without a limp. He was wearing a walking boot after the game against Miami.
Yeah, they said it was for precaution. He said he was fine.
And, he's expected to have a full practice workload this week, so...
He said load.
Yes, I did. Ezekiel Elliott, your boy, Brandon, in his half shirts, was involved in a minor car accident on Wednesday, though he tweeted, quote, "I'm good."
Yeah.
And Twitter. I'll tell you what. I'm going on a Twitter boycott pretty soon, I'm going to tell you that.
You're not going to be good.
Miami Dolphins running back Jay Ajayi and wide receiver Jarvis Landry have been named to the Pro Bowl as replacements. Rams running back...
Yeah, who cares?
Yes, Rams running back Trey Mason was arrested on Tuesday for a fleeing incident going back as far as last July.
I'm going to guess that's not... like he wasn't imitating Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, probably not.
Okay.
But you know what? The Rams are in L.A. and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're from California!
Yes.
All right. He did not report to the team at all this season. And from abroad, the MLB has released its spring training schedule. It's set to begin on February the 22nd.
Guess who's not getting an invite?
And a full slate of games starting February 25th.
Yeah, and guess who's not getting an invite
Who's
to
not getting an
spring
invite?
training?
Who?
Timothy Richard Tebow.
Oh!
Sorry, Mets fans.
All right. Well, I hope you got
You're going to have
jerseys.
to go somewhere else to watch him play.
And the Seattle Mariners acquire left-handed pitcher Drew Smyly from the Rays for outfielders Malik Smith, left-handed pitcher Ryan Yarbrough, and shortstop Carlos Vargas.
And another note, Connor Gillespie avoided arbitration with the San Francisco Giants. He became a postseason hero after his home run off of Thor in the wild card game and his continued great play versus the Cubs. He'll be back with the Giants on a one-year deal.
Hooray!
And also, if you guys are heading down to the Super Bowl and you got $50 burning a hole in your pocket, you can go to the Johnny Football selfie booth.
Oh boy!
And get a selfie with Johnny Manziel for
How sad
$50.
is it? How sad is it that Money Manziel it's resorted to that?
Yeah,
he's lived Pete Rose's entire career with less the success in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He looks older than Pete Rose right now, too.
And that's even crazier.
Drugs are bad. Kids.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. All right. Divisional rounds this week, Brandon.
Yes.
Saturday, Seattle travels to Atlanta to take on the Dirty Birds on Fox at 4:35. Atlanta is the 5-point underdog. Second-ranked offense versus the fifth-ranked
How are they
defense.
a 5-point dog against Seattle?
I don't know. You can.
Wow.
Yeah, that's CBS.
Wow.
For you. That's CBS for you. I don't know.
Well, that's Vegas.
Well,
Vegas is odds.
Yeah,
That's what makes those.
I just took it off CBS. But anyways, second-ranked offense, Atlanta. Fifth-ranked defense, Seattle. Brandon, who you got?
I got Atlanta. I want Seattle to win, but I have Atlanta winning. I I think that they're finally going to get over that hump. Matt Ryan's playing on a different level than he's played in his
coming
career.
from the guy who all season has been saying, and I quote, "They let us down. They always do it."
Yeah, and you know what? They didn't do it. So
okay, well,
I'm going to give them a pass.
I'll tell you what. You know what I think,
it's their
Brandon?
first playoff game.
Not only do I think that's good, I think that's so incredible.
Oh boy. All right, actually, I'm going to pick the Seahawks because I hate you. And that song.
I haven't played the song.
I just am not impressed by Seattle. Seattle's in because A, they're in the West, but B, their defense has kind of held them in it, and they've been fortunate in a few games to get away with some calls that would have been L's. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm not really buying into Seattle. I'm not really buying into Atlanta too, but I buy into Atlanta a little more than I buy into Seattle right now.
Okay.
I just think their offense is just way too inconsistent.
That's fair.
Jimmy Graham's been non-existent again. He had a couple good games this year, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared again. They don't have Ricardo Lockett. Their line is suspect. Atlanta's going to get pressure on them like Detroit did not. So... and plus it's Dan Quinn, versus his old boss.
Right. I'll tell you this: of the 4 games that are on this weekend, there were 2 of them that I'm really, really unsure about.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. I wanted. Excuse me. I've been on the Falcons bandwagon all year, and I've been hyping them up, podcast after podcast, and Dirty Birds, don't let me down, playing the Julio or whatever. And then we get to the playoffs, and then it's kind of a different beast because Seattle becomes a different team in the playoffs. That being said, Seattle played Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
Ever since Stafford hurt himself.
Right, they stink.
They've been terrible. So that was almost kind of a bye week for them. And Atlanta's playing in the Dome, at home. Matt Ryan playing MVP football. Julio Jones is there. They've been doing well. Dirty Birds aren't going to let me down. I'm saying I'm with you. Dirty Birds.
All yeah.
All right.
Just a side note, we both picked Seattle before the podcast.
We did. There was that pick together. I don't know. Whatever.
We not so fast ourselves.
Yeah, we sure did. All right. Brandon, Houston at New England at 8:15.
Do we even have to talk about this game?
Brandon, for the sake of the podcast,
New England,
I must. At 8:15 p.m. on CBS. Interesting note, if you will. Vince Wilfork, former Patriot.
That's fat. Yes, I know.
He went on record and compared this Texans team to the 2 New York Giants underdogs teams that defeated the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Now wait, hold on. The Texans, they rank number 1 in the defense, but they're playing Tom Brady, and his offense is not too shabby itself at number 4. Who you got?
Do I have to even say it? I will. New England by a lot.
Yeah, New England's going to win this one. It's not
Vince Wilfork. I didn't know that diabetes gave you CTE, but apparently it does. So kids, be a little healthier with your diet because you're going to talk crazy like Vince Wilfork one day.
If Houston wins this match, then I will play.
Then it's going to be like literally like that's one of the biggest upsets ever.
I will play Wilford Brimley's diabetes commercial on air.
Yeah,
in honor of Vince Wilfork. But it's not going to happen. The Patriots are going to win, and it's not even going to be close.
Don't even bother looking for that clip.
Sunday. Two
Sunday's
gigantic games. It's appointment television football on Sunday.
Yep.
It's going to start with Pittsburgh versus Kansas City on CBS. On paper, this one I'm having a real difficult time picking because on paper, Pittsburgh is the better team.
Right.
They are the 7th-ranked offense against the 24th-ranked defense of Kansas City. Mm-hmm. But when you look even deeper, offensive averages, Pittsburgh averages 30 more yards per game through the air, but aside from that, rushing and points scored, virtually even.
Right.
I mean, and talking about points scored per game,
right.
I think the Chiefs are down by literally 0.3%.
Right.
It's that close. Pittsburgh does have their big three playing and healthy and playing very well, as evident by the game in Miami. But Kansas City is Kansas City. They win. They know how to win. And they're playing in Arrowhead in January.
Yeah.
Very, very tough place to play. Putting you on the spot right now, because I know you're just as conflicted as I am. Who you got?
I want so badly for Kansas City to win. I just don't know if they're going to have enough to do it. I just don't know. I think that Pittsburgh has the experience. Their defense is playing much better. And, that offense. Le'Veon Bell is playing on another level for running backs right now. You could take Zeke Elliott out of that conversation. I mean, everyone's raving about him, but he's not on Bell's level. I'm sorry.
No. There's not too many people. One of the things that
that's what worries me is the Bell factor. If it was last year when he wasn't playing in the playoffs because he was hurt, this would be a pretty easy game to pick.
They could have stopped D'Angelo Williams.
But Ben's also been turning the ball over a lot lately, too. And Kansas City's good at getting turnovers. And
ask Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Alex Smith is good at not turning the ball over.
Good game manager. This is a really tough one.
They have really good special teams.
This is a really tough one to pick.
It's a
really tough one to pick.
Yeah, it's a tough one to pick. I kind of have to just stick with Pittsburgh. I feel they got too much.
I am going to say Pittsburgh as well, and the only reason that I'm saying Pittsburgh is because I picked them in the beginning of the year, and they're still in it. That being said, if Kansas City wins, I am all in on Kansas City and would want them to go at least to the Super Bowl to play the Packers and have my dream Super Bowl I rematch that I've been dying to see. That would just...
we won't be able to watch it. We'll get edited footage with NFL
with Steve Mariucci talking over it.
That's what we're going to get.
Oh, I
won't even be able to watch that Super Bowl.
But in reality, I see Pittsburgh winning this one, but damn it, if Kansas City wins, it ain't going to break my heart.
Yeah.
And then the final game of the evening, of the weekend, Green Bay at Dallas. Dallas's 5th-ranked offense against Green Bay's 22nd ranked defense. Now, you could either look at it in that way, or you can look at it as Green Bay's 8th ranked offense against Dallas's 14th ranked defense. Now, here's a little storyline that I don't know if this will be a distraction, but this will really kind of set the tone for Dak Prescott and how he handles these types of pressure situations, because Jerry Jones told the Dallas Star that he would not be afraid to, quote, go to the bullpen. Because, quote...
Wait, when's Jerry start coaching?
Quote...
I forgot.
Yeah.
He's coaching now?
Because, quote, not many teams have a Pro Bowl quarterback on the bench. So, I already know who you got. You got who I got.
Right.
But what are your thoughts about Jerry Jones commenting that?
Well, it's Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones. He can't shut his freaking mouth. He's like Donald Trump. He cannot stay out of his own way. He has to be the center of attention in everything that he does. It's embarrassing. You have Dak Prescott, who had an unbelievable rookie season.
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions the entire season. And Romo's thrown more than that in one game at times. So you're going to sit here and tell me that you're the owner who's not, coaching. The only time you're supposed to be down on that sideline is to wrap up victory or go fire somebody, in defeat. And you're going to sit here and you're going to tell a Dallas radio show that you're not afraid to go to the bullpen and basically tell your quarterback, hey, don't screw up out there, rookie, because Romo's right behind you.
Right.
Does
he think that's supposed to be a motivational tool? I mean, I don't know. With as hot as the Packers are playing...
Tool.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, the Packers defense leaves nothing to the imagination. They are not a great stellar defense
Giants,
at all. But
Odell Beckham didn't get off last week. The Giants didn't really do anything. Well, he did get off. It was on a boat, but that's besides the point.
I'm sorry. I immediately went there.
Yeah, you did. That's okay, though.
What a degenerate I am.
I forgive you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm almost a little proud of you, actually.
All right.
So the Packers. I think the Packers defense ranking
the bunny pee right now. Bunny,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay, thank you.
It's all good.
Please go.
The Packers' ranking on defense is a little deceiving. Mm-hmm. They played really miserable in the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Now they're
bad.
more of a... They'll bend, but they won't break because they don't give up a lot of points. Mm-hmm. So if you look during this streak, they have improved as far as scoring defense goes, and that's all that matters. You can give up 500 yards, but if you keep them out of the end zone and they are kicking field goals all night, you're still doing your job. They also get turnovers. So, I think that the Giants have a more dynamic receiving core than the Cowboys do. I mean, I'd take Beckham over Dez any day.
Okay.
Dez drops too many damn balls. Beckham does too, but he can't. He can't have Beckham. Beckham can get off and catch a slant pattern and then take off and go to the house 60 yards.
Okay.
Des Bryant can't do that.
Okay.
Des Bryant can leap. He can do that. I mean, you can tell me Cole Beasley, whatever. I'm not worried about that clown.
Okay.
The thing that they have to do, which is a thing that they've been consistent on all season, which is stop the run. They got to stop the run. They had a bad game versus Dallas, but again, that was Matthews was hurt. Peppers was not playing well. Daniels was dinged up. Guyon wasn't playing. Dayton Jones was suspended. So the team's improved since that last meeting. So
okay.
Again, I think that Jerry Jones is a moron. He can't stop talking about Jerry Jones.
Honestly and truthfully, I believe this is where the rookie wall is going to hit because there is unbelievable pressure.
Playoff football is a different intensity, too.
It really is. It's a different intensity. Look at, again, hate to keep going back to Rodgers, but look at Rodgers. Yeah. He literally had to treat every game for the past 8 games like it was a playoff game. And then when he got to the playoff game, he treated that like it was a playoff game and just, kept
they steamrolled a Giants team that many people thought were possibly going to go to the Super Bowl if they got by this game.
Right, exactly. So I think that's where the rookie wall hits. And so with that, we have Pittsburgh, New England. So it would be Pittsburgh going to New England as our prediction for the AFC Championship game. And then we have Green Bay going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
For the NFC Championship game.
That would be quite the fireworks show.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that would
be an air assault going on in that dome.
That would be it. But
that could be like that Warner Rodgers game that they played in Arizona when they went to overtime on that freaking face mask.
Yeah.
Where they were just chucking the ball all over the place and just like this guy's got 400 yards, the other one's got 450. They got like 4 touchdowns apiece. Goes to overtime.
I think
Rodgers gets face masks and fumbles, and then they just take it to the house and we're good.
Well, that would certainly be a great game to obviously the MVP vote is already decided or whatever, but that would be a great showcase game. Who's going to win the MVP? Look at these two, whatever. And then when Aaron Rodgers beats him, then he's going to be like, oh well, Matt Ryan, here you go,
here's your consolation prize.
I don't know, that stupid NFL. I'm not watching that goddamn NFL Honor Show either, or the Pro Bowl.
I never do. I never watch that. I tune into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, ceremony. Well, that's one thing.
4 players that I like, I'll tune out when somebody else is going. Mm-hmm. Like some lineman who got in on his 12th try. I don't really care about that guy.
This Hall of Fame class is shaping up to be pretty good, though.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be a good one to watch.
Yeah, watch 2 blobber all over the place and blubber and cry. It's my team.
And then Jason, and then
it's my quarterback.
And then Jason,
and then
Taylor
Jerry Jones will come out and say that, Tony Romo should be in the Hall of Fame already. I'm not afraid to put him in the Hall of Fame. I'm just telling you.
All right. Well, that's all we have for football news. So, I don't know, man. You want to wrap it up here? Got anything else going on? What's up, man? Conversation.
I got nothing going on.
Conversate.
I'm working the rest of the week, which is what people with jobs do. You're familiar with this.
I am.
The grind, the hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's a little easier, but...
Shut up, Brandon.
Not to rub it in.
I'm getting there.
You'll
Don't
get
worry.
there. You'll get there.
I'm getting there. Don't worry.
And then you can text me from your house and be like, you know what's really great? Working from home. And I'll be like, yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree, buddy. Yeah, just going to watch some football this weekend. Kind of lay low.
Very good.
Not much going on.
Very good.
How about you?
All right. Gonna go visit Bretsky tomorrow.
Yeah.
Say what's up to him.
And I have such a full schedule at work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but
this
really sucks.
I'll tell him you said hi.
Really sucks.
I'll tell him you said hi, and you know, have the podcast up for him. But going to visit Bretsky, see him for a bit, and then I got this is last week of my current class that I am in, so I got papers to write and football to watch and beer to drink in no particular order.
Such a good schedule.
Oh yeah,
That's a dream schedule.
Kind of like all over the place there.
Yeah,
but you know what? Scotch ale cures all. So
it does.
I write some of my best papers when I'm drinking. Thank you, Hannah. we have Miss Hannah here as studio audience again. That's awesome.
Do you have like a laughter applause clip?
There it is. There it is. Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
That's gonna wrap it up for this podcast. Nice impression there. It's gonna wrap it up this week. Enjoy football, everybody. We will talk to you again next week as we go over as we recap divisional rounds and predict our AFC and NFC champions.
Just as a note, the internet really did a great job this weekend with all those New York Giants memes with the crying Jordans. Yes. I am fully aware that I am going to get hammered with them if Green Bay loses this weekend. But you know what? It's okay. I had my moment in the sun.
Did you see the one that I posted earlier today with the Clemson guy doing the split and Odell Beckham's head right in the corner?
I also like the one that somebody posted with his smiling face through the hole in the wall and it's in the men's locker room over the top of it. Oh, man.
Oh, the internet is undefeated.
Everybody be hating on that guy.
The internet is undefeated. Brandon, good day to you, sir.
Yeah, you as well, sir.
So long, everybody. Good night now. And whoa. Breaking news, just as we were about to go off the air, the Chargers organization planned to announce as early as Thursday, that's today, because the podcast was released today, that the team is in fact going to be relocating to Los Angeles from San Diego. So the San Diego Superchargers, no more. They will be returning to Los Angeles for the first time since the early 1960s. This has been Football Talk Weekly. Good night now.
Remember to see more National Football League action next week.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.